if you find yourself in a situation where somebody's doing a two-hand choke up against the wall, couple pointers just to keep in mind right out of the gate. One, I'm not going to physically be able to push myself and come off the wall, especially with this person driving into me. But the more that I push and resist into it, I'm actually going to choke myself a little bit more. So that's kind of the first rule. If you end up on the wall in any situation, start utilizing the wall. So your first best bet is to simply just get heavy, drop your weight a little bit. That way it makes it a little bit harder for this person to start moving you around. Second thing to keep in mind, and I've seen a lot of these different techniques online, don't sit here and try and fiddle around with the fingers and pulling any sort of finger off. Yes, if I have access to a finger and I rip it, I can easily break the finger and I can easily damage the hand. But in a real situation, if this person's squeezing on you and I'm fiddling around with the fingers, even if I start managing to pull it off, there's nothing stopping him from just turning and starting to punch you or change up the technique altogether, because he's not just going to sit there and let you play with the finger. So that option's kind of just out. I like to just stick to basic striking at this point. So if, again, depending on this person's body, now, very rarely is this person going to be this far back squeezing you unless they have crazy long arms. But again, their arms are going to be bent a little bit. They're using their shoulders and everything to get the pressure in there. So they are going to be a little bit closer to you. So you do have the option right out of the gate to throw some sort of front kick. If they're even closer for whatever reason, I can start by throwing knees. So it's always a good option to kind of throw that in. So for your first technique, if you're in this situation, he's putting the choke on you, I can throw that kick right away, which again is going to loosen him up. But because I threw that kick and loosen him up, that is the point where I can come off the wall a little bit. Now again, I'm not fully coming off the wall. I'm simply just going to start turning off at an angle, which, as you notice, as I throw this kick and start turning at an angle, I'm also starting to turn his body a little bit because he is connected to me. So I throw that kick. As I turn, I can trap one arm. I can shoot a hand up into the face, turn it around to some sort of collar tie, and then as I pivot my body, I slam him into the wall at the same time. From here, because we are in a close quarter situation, I can start dropping elbows to the face. You can start dropping elbows down. You can throw knees to the groin if you need to, and then we can easily work ourselves off the wall. But again, in this situation, the only way that I can start coming off in that sense is to do some sort of damage. So again, if this person is close to you, throw a kick, come in with the strike, slam the person in, and notice again, I shift my weight the same time that I pull him in. So essentially, I'm opening up a hole for him to fall into. You start working your elbows, start working your knees, and we start trading places essentially to where now I'm off the wall. Obviously, I can come back in if I need to, but now I can create that distance and get off the wall altogether, and we make that space. Now, in regards to your other two options, let's just say again, this person is close. I'm throwing knees and that's not working. I can't get away, or I throw the knee and I step in and that's not working. You do have options to essentially gravity drop these arms a little bit, which brings him in a little bit closer. And again, as I shift his momentum coming forward and I shift my body off to the side, I can redirect his energy into the wall, as is with pretty much any wall fighting self-defense technique. So first one that you're gonna do, bring your arms all the way up. It doesn't matter which side you go to, but I'm gonna commit to one side, and as I turn, I'm literally just gonna drop my elbow down across both hands. Now, if you're lucky, you're gonna get both hands to come off. Maybe you just get one, maybe you don't get either, but you kind of drop the hands a little bit. Again, all I'm looking for in this sense is for his weight to shift forward a little bit. So as he's putting this choke on, I turn, I drop. From here, I can easily just drive my head into the face a little bit because it's right there. Reach up, grab the head. Again, I turn the body and the head into the wall. We start working our strikes a little bit. You can work your kicks, and again, we can trade places, but you don't always have to kind of do those types of strikes. There are a lot of variations. The reason you're bringing the hand up so I can get that leverage to come down with a strong force, and as I turn, drop those arms. Now look, you see how close his head is. Drive the head straight into his face, grab the head, turn him into the wall, and again, you can start working your elbows, your strikes, and we work ourselves off. Now, third option, very similar, only this time he's not letting me turn, whatever it means. I'm trying to do this. He's just a lot stronger than I am, so I have to do this essentially facing forward. My hands are going to come straight up. Again, I'm crossing my arms. As I drop my weight, I'm also dropping the arms. Now again, with this one, very rarely are you going to be able to just completely clear the arms off your chest. Again, if anything, I'm going to just drop that weight, and again, we're looking for his energy to come forward. So as we do that, I drop my weight, he comes forward. Again, I can work elbow strikes if I need to. Otherwise, I can hook behind the head. As I shift my weight off to the side, we slam them into the wall. You start working your strikes, your knees as always, and we back off. Drop, grab, slam in, start throwing those knees, and we clear that position. We can do our strikes or we can get away. Another thing to take note when we are doing chokes like this is his energy and momentum is driving forward. So the best way to deal with these situations, again, unless we're doing the technique where we throw the strike and we kind of turn a little bit, is I'm trying to drive his energy towards me even faster. But when I move my body off to one side or the other, I'm opening a hole in a gap, and his momentum and energy is going to turn into the wall along with my assistance. So both of the techniques that we're showing you allows that to happen. So again, if he's in this position, bring your arms up, come down, drop, again, his energy shifts, and I help him with the rest of the way. Or like we mentioned, the other option, my hands come up, I drop, notice again how his energy shifts, and I continue working with that, and I come across. But the key with both of those is you don't hesitate in between. I don't want to sit here, do this, and stand still, because the second I stop, he's going to recompose, he's going to come up, he might change it to a punch, exactly. So it's the second that I drop, I'm instantly hooking right in. So when he's grabbing nice and tight, it's one motion, and then we shift our energy. Same thing with the first one. It's one motion. Now, especially with this one, the reason I like to throw that head in there is because as I do this, if I turn my head, his face is coming directly into the top of my head, which again is going to do a lot of damage, and then we follow up. So both of these moves you have to do as one fast motion right away. Don't hesitate, and don't give this person an opportunity to recompose. But that's kind of just a rule of thumb when it comes to wall fighting in general. Use the wall to your advantage, keep your weight up against the wall, drop your weight a little bit, and do everything you can to get this person's momentum and energy coming into the wall as you to redirect it. So those are some options that you have for a two-hand choke. Give them a shot. Let us know what you think.